Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dadati Swapadantikam
Vandeham Sri Gurum Suda Padakamalam Sri
Vaishnavam
Vaishnavancha
Jatam Sahagana Radhavaidam Tam Sajivam
Satvaidam Savatam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganita Shri Vishakantam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami
Hare Priye
Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda Shri Advaita
Gadadara
Gadadara Shri
Sri
Vasadi
Vasadi
Gaura
Gaura
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay. Prabhu, you can minimize your screen. When I say you can put the second canto.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we have to do the other one also. Bhagavatam verses.
Yes. This is the Bhagavatam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam verses, right? 1 to 1.
No.
Chapter.
Go back, go to the study group. Go to the other one. See, the SB verses reciting at the start of the class. Reference material. Okay, all together. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastri Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Okay, quickly. So, chapter number 2, titled as Divinity and Divine Services. So, broadly, we can see it's on 5 sections. The first 4 to 5 verses talks about how Sutta Goswami now glorifying his spiritual master, that is Sukadev Goswami, and also the verse number 5 is he's glorifying the sages who asked this beautiful question. Then 6th and 7th verse talks about the answer to the first 2 questions of the sages, and followed up to 29th verse, it is about, entire thing is about bhakti. What are the various processes of bhakti, how bhakti progress, bhakti to whom it has to be done. And verse number 30 to 33 talks about the question 4, answer to the question 4, that is the Purusha Avatars. So briefly, actually the Purusha Avatars also explained in the third third chapter also in details. And last verse 34 is the answer to question number 5. That is why Lord appeared. Answer to the question number 3, why Lord appeared. Yeah. So let's go to verse number 2. So the first question is introduction to, first verse was the introduction about Sutta Goswami. His name was Ugra. Go back, bro. Go to verse number 1. Yeah, just translation. So Ugraswa. So Sutta Goswami's name. So the son of Roma Harshana, being fully satisfied by perfect questions of the Brahmanas, thanked them and thus attempted to reply. So this Vyasadev says, this is Vyasa Vacha. Next question, next verse.
Sutta Vacha.
Verse, translation.
2.
Yeah, we already finished this. Just go to the translation. You want to read
Yeah.
the translation?
Srila Sutta Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the great sages Sukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread of the ceremonies observed by the higher caste, his father Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, O my son, indeed only the trees which were observed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the begrieved father."
Okay. All right. We seen this verse last time. Any takeaway from this verse? What do you feel? Personal takeaways, practical application, or takeaway? Okay. So here, see this person. He is just Sutta Goswami. Once he is born, he just went away and took up renounced order of life. So that means he is a completely liberated person. And it also said he is not undergone any reformation by the sacred thread of ceremonies, right? So he has not taken any spiritual, spiritual undertaking. But then he's born.
Initiation.
Sorry?
Initiation.
Yeah, correct. He has not taken any initiation also. So not undergone any initiation or reformation in spiritual line. So he's because he's already a liberated person. So he's so detached. So the key thing is how much detached he was. And then another key factor here is even all the living entities. Here giving the example of the trees. So the trees were also absorbed in the same feeling of the separation. And it is said it also echoed. His father was calling out for for Sukadeva Goswami, O son, and the trees echoed. So different, I explained last week how different acharyas explain this philosophy, like, the trees had that feeling and they were also crying, oh son, like. So one acharya explains that, like, and the other acharya is saying that Sukadeva Goswami is not answering, but the trees are only echoing back as an answer to Vyasadeva. So here the key point is Sutta Goswami is saying that you were so much attracted to any living entities, you were in the heart of the trees also. So you now come to my heart. So Sutta Goswami is praying to Sukadeva Goswami, you come to my heart and then you speak to the sage's question. That's what. So let's go to the next verse. Prabhu? Yeah, anyone wants to read this verse?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
या स्वानुभावम् अखिलश्रुति सरम् एकम् अध्यात्म दीपम् अतिथिर्सतं तमो अन्धम् संसारिणं कारुण्याः पूरणगुह्यं तं व्यासा सुनम् उपयमि गुरुं मुनिमम्.
Munina.
Muninam.
Yeah. Translation.
Yeah. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Sukha, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasadeva, who, out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggle to cross over the darkest region of material existence, spoke his most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience.
Okay. So, yeah, what are the key points in this, Prabhu?
Um, so, offering respectful obeisance to Sukha Goswami, who is the um, spiritual master of all the sages, and he's the son of Vyasadeva. And out of his compassion, the people who are struggling in this materialistic world, um, to cross over and reach to spiritual abode. And he spoke some confidential, nice things from Vedic, which he has personally, yeah, yeah, experience by experience. He learned all this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, the key point here is, so he is paying obeisances. As I said in the previous verse also, he talks about Sukadeva Goswami, and this verse also, he is now offering obeisances. So anytime, that's why when we start our classes also, we offer obeisances to our gurus, Mangalacharya, and basically paying obeisances to all our guru and the Lord, and the presiding deities. So here he's talking about Sukadeva Goswami being the spiritual master of all the sages. And who is he? He is the son of Vyasadeva. So the key is, he has so much compassion to all the materialistic people. So in the previous verse we saw, he is not at all materialistically attached. He was a detached person. But he is only thing which is attached is he is having great compassion to these materialist people who are struggling in this material world. The darkest region of material existence. And what he is doing, he has spoken the most confidential, the cream of Vedic knowledge. And if you go back, you can go to the Sanskrit verse. In that there is a term. There's a term called, Deepam, torchlight. So he is giving the transcendental. So we are in the darkest region. So with this knowledge, he is giving the torchlight for all of us. To overcome this materialistic world. So that's what this was talking about. And not only that, after having personally assimilated by his experience, he's not just talking, some knowledge he's talking. He has assimilated this knowledge and then by his experience and is speaking about it. All right, are we clear in this? So the key point here is paying obeisance to Sutta Goswami, who is very compassionate to materialistic kind of people. That's why he is giving the essence of all the Vedic knowledge, and which will be like a torchlight for people in this suffering material world, to get it. So one who are in darkness, if we get a small light, how happy we'll be. Generally we say the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So like that, Bhagavatam is giving us the light. So that is given by Sukadeva Goswami. Yeah. All right. Okay. Purport. Please raise your hand, those who wants to read purport, so that I can call out. Yes, Param Prabhu.
In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasadeva with a view to presenting just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a thoroughly realized master on the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently he also personally realized the commentary, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic men who want to cross who want to cross completely over nations, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet the unhappy materialists can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who relishes thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly, to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he is always harassed by his own material creations, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Such intelligent persons are called jnanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such jnanis. But Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutras by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavad Puran. It is clearly said that this Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukadeva, the Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of material existence.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. We'll first quickly go through this two verse paragraph. So what is the first passage talks about? Anyone?
That there are, Prabhuji, that there's two books. One is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and one is Vedanta Sutras. And the Bhagavatam is commenting on the Vedanta Sutras.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like very to the point summary of
So yes, so in this, in the translation, if you see, so it spoke the most confidential supplement to the cream of Vedic knowledge. So that's what Prabhupada is trying to explain in this passage. So he says Bhagavatam is a supplementary commentary of the Vedanta Sutra or the Brahma Sutra and is presenting just the cream. So Bhagavatam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the commentary of the cream. And Sutta Goswami is the master for this, on this commentary. And just to show his boundless mercy, bewildered on materialistic men who want to cross. So this cream is for whom? So if you see, it's meant for whom? Is it meant for all the sages, all the liberated persons, all the yogis?
It's even for starters.
It is mainly for this material world, the people in this materialistic world. Just to show the bound upon the materialistic men. So who wants to cross this oceans of neoscience? We are all in the darkness of ignorance, right? Those who want to cross this darkness, for such people only is this Bhagavatam. Then Prabhupada in the next passage talks about jnanis, karmis, right? So who's a jnani here according to Prabhupada's?
Person who want to exit from this material world, they are jnanis.
Okay. What about bhaktas? They also want to exit.
Yeah, bhaktas also.
Yeah. So what's the difference? And there are karmis also spoken here. So what is the difference between karmis, jnanis and bhaktas?
Karmis, they don't want to go from this material world. Whatever they are facing any problem, but they still want to stay here. They want to enjoy the materialistic things.
Correct. So that's the one the first paragraph talks about. There's no point in arguing that the materialist man is happy, but karmis feel they are happy. So no materialist creature can be greater than Brahma or ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness. So this first paragraph is talking mostly on the karmis. But then at some point or the other, the karmis also get so much frustration, you know, and then they find sometimes the unhappy materialistic why I should want to get out of the world, and they make their own way of doing things. So therefore they are compared to, you know, people, even though they suffer, what little much they relish, they feel that's the happiness. So Prabhupada says they are compared to the camel who eats the thorns, right? They eat the thorn and they feel tasty. They taste what really?
Blood.
Blood.
They taste
Blood.
their own blood. They taste their own blood and think that is happiness. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. This then similarly to materialistic, his own blood is sweet as honey, and although he is harassed by his own material creation, he does not wish to escape. As Kangana Mataji rightly said, Karmi wants to be back and back. Okay, I've lost something, I can get it more. I can get more. They go after more and more. And jnanis, intelligence persons are called jnanis, they said. So jnanis, as they said, they may not be interested in all these things. They may be detached with the help of the knowledge. But then the jnanis try to approach the Brahman. So basically jnanis try to reach the impersonalist form of the Lord. That level. So that's the difference between a bhakta and a jnani. Bhakta always towards the Bhagavan. So bhakti, they show bhakti towards the Lord. So at Bhagavan level. So here also the Prabhupada talks about the jnanis also. So he somewhere he said, you know, the Vedanta Sutra is directed towards the jnanis. But then they misuse this Vedanta Sutra and they create their own unscrupulous way of doing things. You know, they speculate. That's why jnanis are called mental speculators. Prabhupada uses the term mental speculators. So they may get knowledge, but then they misuse the knowledge for their own benefits or whatever. And ultimately they are able to reach only up to the Brahman level. So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with Bhagavad Purana. So Bhagavad Purana is nothing but the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And who gave it? Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam. You know, it was given to him by Srila Vyasadeva, who is none other than the incarnation of the Lord. Alright, are we clear in these two passages? Yes, Mataji. Quick question related to this. Yeah.
This is because in the first verse we said Sukadev Goswami, when he was born, he went to the forest. So and then next third verse we are talking about. So Vasudeva's son, he was giving us the explaining about Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So when it happened, when did he return from the forest to give the explanation on Bhagavatam?
Yeah, that is not said here. This is basically talking about Sutta Goswami is doing obeisances of prayer to Sukadeva Goswami.
Okay.
So your question, when it happened because he went behind him and then he explained, he said, I'm going to tell about the story or pastimes of Krishna, and then he's come back. He comes back and it's not mentioned here in this.
Okay, so it's not yet, he has not come yet.
No, he
So
has
it
come.
just-
That is why he has spoken. No, this is all after.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. How he came back. I mean, Vyasadeva was crying in separation from him. So how did he bring him back from forest?
No, that's not covered in this Mataji. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, that will be covered in later. Okay.
Yeah,
So I
later
can
on.
park
Yes.
in that. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Isha Mataji.
I have one question, Prabhu. It's so you know how there's the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and then there's the Vedanta Sutras, and it says here that Vyasadeva wrote one so that it couldn't be misused by the unscrupulous people. But how did that prevent that from happening? Just wanted to clarify.
How one can prevent that from happening?
Like how that commentary of writing one more Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam prevented it from being misused. I didn't catch that link.
Okay, the commentary of that is nothing but Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam directly highlights, if you see the second verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam itself is talking about what? Dharma, projita kaitava dharma. So we have to follow dharma. I mean, there are so many cheating religions. So people this speculate and they start so much religions they're starting, right? So, but Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not talking about all those things. It's talking about bhakti. In fact, this chapter is going to talk only about bhakti.
Oh, right. Okay. So it added more like rules and regulations and like added.
No, it's not talking about rules and regulation. Bhagavatam not talking about rules and regulations. Here it talks about various philosophies and principles which we need to follow.
Yeah, but then how did it avoid it from being misused? I didn't understand, because just writing the commentary, that book is still going to get into people's hands. I hope my question is
No,
making
Vedanta
sense.
Sutra means Vedanta Sutra are said to be small aphorisms.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Atato Brahma Jignasa is say one of the Vedanta Sutra, right?
Yeah.
So there are different people interpret it in different way. It's a Vedanta. That's what I said. There are small aphorisms in which various explanations are given, large explanations. So different jnanis or something, they put their own mental knowledge into it and they give their own explanations. Right? For instance, I know there are certain people who say even when Krishna came into this material world, in the human form, they are saying that he is also under the modes of material nature. So he is also like we are also formed. I mean, our formation is based on the modes, right? So he is also influenced by that. So they don't understand his transcendental form. They give speculation. Right?
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
like that Brahma means for them it's only the impersonal feature of the Lord. So they will say, why are you giving personal form to Lord? And you are trying to give the form to Lord similar to you. So they speculate. So you should be wider. Impersonal nature is the supreme for them. So they speculate. But Bhagavatam talks about Bhagavan. The forms of Bhagavan, the Rupa, Nama, the pastimes, these are the things that a bhakta desires to hear.
Okay. That
All right,
that
you get it.
clarifies it.
So
Yes, I understood.
Bhagavatam is overcome such mental speculations. So you don't need to speculate. Things are here in black and white. We will give you with lot of case studies in that.
Okay, that explains it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Vedanta Sutra, aphorism, people speculate on those things.
Okay. Yeah.
For example, like Aham Brahmastam. So sometimes Aham Brahmastam, they take it. Aham Brahma. So everyone knows spirit soul. But then they say, I am also God. So they take it such a way. So they mental speculate. So I am also God, which we do not know. So once you know that you are God, then you will get all the powers. That's what some people speculate.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, go to the next passage. Anyone next, reader?
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Sripad Shankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. He wrote his Shariraka Bhashya, and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new representation. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by Mayavad school. From this introductory shloka, the beginning student should know that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramhansas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Sripad Shankaracharya's admission that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation. The envious Mayavadi cannot have access to the Bhagavatam. But those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence can take shelter of this Bhagavatam, because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Shukadeva Goswami. It is the transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental absolute truth realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, what are any key points in this you can take away from this?
So, Prabhuji, like some of the stuff we discussed about the previous passage as well is here. And then, like you were saying about the Mayavadi philosophy, mixing the two.
Yeah, Aham Brahmasmi.
Aham Brahmasmi, yes. So, the thing that I want to ask Prabhuji from here, what is the Shariraka Bhashya?
That is the commentary written by Shankaracharya.
Is it also on the Bhagavatam? Sorry.
I mean, I have not much detail about that, Mataji.
Sorry,
Not able
Prabhuji.
to touch upon that Saririya Bhashya. I can find out and let you know.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I can say something?
Yes, Prabhu.
These bhashyas, these bhashyas are all commentaries of all great sages for Vedanta Sutra. So Vedanta Sutra is very complex Sanskrit text, which is broken easily, like Govinda Bhashya. That's broken and for the understanding of normal public, normal people. So great sages like Sukadeva Goswami, and they transliterated basically that. It still remains very complex Sanskrit text, and many people did a lot of tika for that. And one of that is that bhashya like this, and Govinda Bhashya is also one of that.
Yeah, Govinda Bhashya is basically from Vaishnava side. Sarira Bhashya is again on Vedanta Sutra.
Sharira Bhasha is something like Aham Brahmasmi again, I reckon, Prabhuji.
No, that's what. It's a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra.
Yeah.
That's what Prabhu was mentioning. Yes, thanks for reminding me, Prabhu.
It's a sutra. Sutra is a formula. Formula is very small.
Yeah,
So
that's what aphorism we call. Yeah, it's a small thing. So that requires commentary, that requires explanation. Like the purport, how we are giving, how Prabhupada is given the purport, the detailed explanation. So that's Sarira Bhasha, all for the Vedanta Sutra. In fact, those days, if there is any parampara or any lineage which is coming, so it is said that they should have a commentary for the Vedanta Sutra, right? So different thing was there. So Bhagavatam is said to be one of the commentary for the Vedanta Sutra, like that's what it's mentioned here for the Vaishnavas. And Prabhu also highlighted on the Govinda Bhashya. That's also another commentary on the Vedanta Sutra coming in the Vaishnava line.
Prabhu, I haven't understood, because he knew the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. What does that mean?
Where is that?
Sripada Shankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew the natural commentary would be difficult for him to surpass. What?
No, he has not written on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he's saying. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra, right? Shankaracharya, he did not touch about it because he did not knew that natural commentary would be difficult to surpass. So he has not commented much on Bhagavatam. That's what is mentioned there. He surpassed, but he has written commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Okay, let's go to the next verse. This is the important verse which we already all recite. Maybe together we can again recite. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswati vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Yeah. Before reciting this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana and Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Someone wants to read the purport?
Okay, Prabhuji, I can read it.
Yes, Mataji.
All the Vedic literatures and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. The living being in the state of forgetfulness of his relations with God due to his being overly attracted to the material sense gratification from time immemorial. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual and is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. If he at all wants to conquer this perpetual struggle for existence, he must reestablish his eternal relations with the God. And one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literature such as the Vedas and the Puranas. Foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. However, the Puranas are supplementary explanation of the Vedas intended for different types of men. All men are not equal. There are men who are conducted by the mode of goodness, and others who are under the mode of patience, and others who are under the mode of ignorance. The Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain their lost position and get out of the hard struggle for the existence. Srila Sutta Goswami shows the way of chanting the Puranas. This may be followed by persons who aspire to be the preachers of the Vedic literatures and the Puranas. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the spotless Purana, and it is especially meant for those who desire to get out of the material entanglement permanently.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. As we seen in the previous verse talks about, Bhagavatam is being the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra. This verse is highlighting that this is the spotless Purana, Bhagavat Purana. So here, this is offering respect. This verse is offering respect to whom? So Narayana Rishi. Why to Narayana Rishi? Any hand?
Because Bhagavatam is the Narayan himself. That's why.
Okay. No, Narayana Rishi. So you know where is this Narayana Rishi deities are?
No.
No.
Badrinath.
Badrika Ashram.
Badrikash.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and that is the presiding deity for Vyasadeva. Okay, so this is what, that's why, and unto Srila Vyasadeva. So Vyasadev's his deities are Narayana Rishi. So that's why here it's talking about Narayana Rishi and Vyasadeva in this. Let's go to the next verse. Vijay Gopi, you want to read?
मुनयः साधु पृष्ठाहं भवाद्भि लोकमङ्गलं यत्कृता कृष्ण सम्पर्ष्णो येन आत्मा सुप्रसिद्धति. O sages, I have been just questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are of relevance to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Sutta Goswami is praising the sages here. He's saying very nice questions you people have asked. All right. Lata Mataji, you want to read the purport?
Purport. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Since it has been started here in before that in Bhagavatam, the absolute truth is to be known, the question of sages of Naimisharanya are proper and just because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. In Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas there is nothing but the urge for searching after him, Lord Krishna. Thus, the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of all Vedic inquiries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So here, if you see, in fact, some people say this is the one which is one of the answers to question number 2. This verse, some people say. Why? Because they say these questions were related to Lord Krishna. So all the questions were asked, Sutta Goswami relates them to Lord Krishna. So anything with Krishna Kada, that's the essence. So that's what is talking here in this passage. There is nothing but the urge for search after him. So everyone is searching for Lord Krishna. So thus the question that pertain to Krishna is the sum and substance of all Vedic inquiries. So any Vedic inquiry, actually end of it has to lead to who is Krishna, pertaining to Krishna. All right. Someone else can read. Rushan Prabhu, you want to read the next passage?
Yes, Prabhu. The whole world is full of questions and answers. Birds, beasts, and men are all busy in the matter of perpetual questions and answers. In the morning, the birds in the nest become busy with questions and answers, and in the evening also the same birds come back and again become busy with questions and answers. The human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, is busy with questions and answers. The businessman in the market are busy with questions and answers, and so also the lawyers in the court and the students in the schools and colleges. The legislators in the parliament are also busy with the questions and answers, and the politicians and the press representatives are also busy with questions and answers. Although they go on making such questions and answers for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. Satisfaction of the soul can only be obtained by questions and answers on the subject of Krishna.
Okay, yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So it's to summarize in one line. So question answers, this is being asked not only by human, even the birds. That's what Prabhupada mentions here. Everyone answers questions, businessmen, lawyers, politicians, everyone's asking question and answers. But which question and answer is going to satisfy the heart? So that's the key. So satisfaction of the soul can be done only by asking questions related to Krishna. So that's why he's praising the sages. So you ask so beautiful question. That's all these questions are related to Krishna. Yes. Pooja Mataji, you want to read the next passage?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, father, or son, an object of conjugal love. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of questions and answers, but none of them are able to give us complete satisfaction. All things but Krishna give temporary satisfaction only. So if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the questions and answers about Krishna. We cannot live for a moment without being questioned or without giving answers, because the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam deals with questions and answers that are related to Krishna. We can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. One should learn the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and make an all-around solution to all problems pertaining to social, political, or religious matters. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Krishna are the sum total of all things. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So by reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, what do one get?
Solutions to all problems.
Solution to all problems. Yes, satisfaction. Solution to all problems.
Which is more permanent.
Which is eternal and permanent.
Yeah. How is that we get all solution to all problem? We already discussed this. Yeah.
Philosophies we are learning in here. By applying the learnings from Bhagavatam.
By applying the learnings, yes.
We understand that these miseries are because of our karmas only. So we stop taking them as miseries. We are accepting it as God's will.
Okay.
Also between material and spirit. what is material and what is spirit. We get that knowledge so that every time when we get influenced with the material, we always have the answer, and then
Yeah.
based on we take a call. Hey,
And
Yes.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Pastimes
deals
of Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Bhagavad
main solution it will give to all the permanent problems like birth, death, disease, and old age.
Yeah.
So we are
key-
keeping Krishna in center maybe and doing everything to serve him. So with which so we're not doing it for our pleasure, we are doing it for his pleasure, and then obviously we'll be avoiding all the miseries in turn.
Yes. So key thing is, in the material world, we are having all material problem. We are trying to search for solution within this material things. So we have to get solution only through spiritual guidelines, the divine approach. So spiritual. So Bhagavatam is giving that. So through problem, all of you said something. So with the knowledge, how we grow, and spiritually we'll understand certain things might have been problem few years back, but then once you come into a spiritual life, you would have seen these things are all no more a problem for me. How many of you felt that? Isn't it? You feel that as you advance in the spiritual life, that you see that way. All right. So now the verse number 6 and 7 are the answers to the first two questions. So 6 is a very important verse. So all can chant after I chant, or together we can also chant. Savai pumsa paro dharmo
Yato bhaktir
yato bhaktir achotate aituki api hatratha e
Yada
anma
ma suprasiddhate
surasiddhai.
Yatma suprasiddhati.
The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Okay, before we discuss, let's finish the purport and then we'll spend some time on this verse. Who wants to read? Neha Sharma, Neha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
In this statement, Sri Goswami answers the first question of the sages of Naimisharanya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential parts so that fallen people or the people in general might easily take it up. The Vedas prescribe two different types of occupation for the human being. One is called the pravritti marg and the path of sense enjoyment, and the other is called the nivritti marg, the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior, and the path of sacrifice of the supreme cause is superior. The material existence of the living being is a diseased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence or Brahma-bhuta existence, where life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just the futile attempt to get rid of the miseries, and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. Therefore, the path of progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, and illusory, is inferior. But devotional service of the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful, and all cognizant life, is called the superior quality of occupation. This is sometimes polluted when mixed with the inferior quality. For example, adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. Renunciation or abnegation for ultimate good is certainly a better occupation than enjoyment, is the diseased condition. Such a condition of life. Such enjoyment only aggravates the symptoms of disease and increases its duration. Therefore, devotional services to the Lord must be pure in quality. For example, without the least desire for material enjoyment, one should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation in the form of the devotional service of the Lord, without any tinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action, and philosophical speculation. This alone can lead one to perpetual solace in his
Yes,
service.
okay. Thank you, Mother. So as I said, Prabhupada highlights in the first purport, first sentence itself, this is the answer to the first question. In fact, it's answers to both first two questions. So Vedas describe two paths, one path, Pravritti Marg and Nivritti Marg. Pravritti Marg means boga, so enjoyment. And Nivritti is Tyaga, renunciation. So even renunciation, just for the sake of renunciation, is not accepted. It's any sacrifice, the path of sacrifice for the supreme. So that is for the Lord, that is said to be a supreme path. So material existence of living being is actually, diseased condition. We are actually said to be with disease. The life is full of eternal bliss and knowledge, Satchitananda. So material existence is temporary, illusionary, and full of miseries. So there is no happiness. And just the futile attempt. So we are trying to only get rid of miseries and to find the false happiness. But devotional service to Supreme Lord leads one to eternal, blissful, and all cognizance life. Again, so devotional service only will take us to the path of Satchit Ananda. That is called the supreme quality. So dharma, paro dharma. So the word here is said to be paro dharma. If you see word to word meaning, pumsa means mankind. Paro, sublime. Dharma means occupation. What is that occupation? Bhakti, devotional service. To whom? To Adoksha. Adoksha here means the Lord. So two terms used here, Hayatuki and Apratihata. So causeless and unbroken. That's the synonyms Prabhupada has mentioned. We'll discuss some more details on that. So that's our bhakti has to be under these two terms, Ayatuki and Apatriyata. So one should therefore accept superior quality of occupation in form of devotional service to Lord without any unnecessary desire of fruitive action or philosophical speculation. This is the key. This alone can lead us one to perpetual solace on his service. So this is key important. This unnecessary desire or fruitive results after fruitive, after sense gratification of fruitive results, and no speculation. So this is what leads to pure bhakti. Okay, Ankit Prabhu, you want to read the next paragraph?
Have purposely denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the word dharma is that which sustains one's existence. A living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relation with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is the central pivot of living beings, and he is the all attractive living entity or eternal form amongst all other living beings or eternal forms. Each and every living being has his eternal form in the spiritual existence, and Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. Krishna is the complete whole, and everything else is his part and parcel. The relation is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental and it is completely distinct from our experience in material existence. This relation of servant and the served is the most congenial form of intimacy. One can realize it as devotional service progresses. Everyone should engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, even in the present conditional state of material existence. That will gradually give one the clue to actual life and please him to complete satisfaction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So what does the word dharma mean?
Which sustains one's existence.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyone
the
else?
occupation.
Occupation, yeah.
Prescribed duties.
Yeah.
Prescribed duties, yes.
Way of life.
Yeah.
All
I
good
mean,
working.
the
Good
main dharma
working.
is to love Krishna. That's the main dharma, but people are misusing it into the another. They are using it as another activities for their existence.
Okay. Prabhu, can you just remove this one? You're sharing screen. I want to share something.
You have done that, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a courtesy on Prabhu, Amartaras Prabhu. This slide, I'm using it. So, apara dharma and para dharma. As many of you said, it's duty, occupation, and someone said to serve Krishna, innate nature. So, one of the key example given, I think in one of the books, Prabhupada gives this. He says, for instance, a sugar, how will the sugar be? If I taste a sugar, what will I find it?
Sweet.
Sweet, right? Will the sugar be sweet or no?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sweet.
A salt means it will be salty, right? A water means it's hard or liquid?
Liquid.
Liquid, right? So the dharma of water is to be liquid. The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. So if someone gives me, okay, take the sweet, and if I take it, if it's very hot or if it's very salty, is that the sweet? Is it doing its dharma?
No.
No. So that's the meaning what Prabhupada had. That's what is dharma. So general terms, as you already said, some people call dharma means religion, dharma means duty, dharma means occupation. But someone came up with, you have to serve the Lord, right? So our dharma is service. If you see what is the dharma of a human being, generally our occupation, we serve someone. Either we serve the bosses in the office, or the children in the house, or spouse, someone, or our friend, something we are serving. But really, we are supposed to serve whom? The Lord. So that's the innate nature of us. Our dharma is that. So that's what is talking about the Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma, there is no beginning or end to it. Sanatan is always eternal. As a human, we are eternally serving to the Lord. But we have forgotten that service. That's why we are in this material world going around. So that's why Prabhupada also gives another example, watering the root. Right. So dharma, sometimes religion we say, but really that's not the meaning of a religion. So for instance, today we can be a Christian. A Christian can convert into a Muslim. He may be in a Christian religion, but he can change to a Muslim, or he can change to a Hindu, or he can change to a ISKCON devotee, right? So the religion they can change. But the real occupation, the Sanatan Dharma, no one can change. That's the root. Eternal service to the Lord. Right? So then when come to what is Paro Dharma, as I said, is a transcendental Dharma. So it is spiritual in nature. It is eternal. We cannot change that. So basically, the Paro Dharma refers to all devotional service, Bhakti Yoga ultimately. Sanatan Dharma or Paro Dharma or Bhakti Yoga. So ultimately pleasing Krishna, not pleasing the sense. So Paradharma is something which we are pleasing ourselves. You may please yourself, or you may please your nation, or you may please your family, you may please your community, you may please your caste. All this comes under that. Even the Kula Dharma, Jati Dharma, everything comes under that. Apara Dharma. Okay.
So, Prabhuji, this apara dharma is not important to do.
No, that's what this Bhagavatam, this verse talk about Paradharma. So anything which is higher than Aparadharma, that is Paradharma. So as I told you the example of watering the root. If you are watering the root, all the other things, all these things are taken care.
So if we do paradharma, then no need to perform this aparadharma, you mean
No.
to say?
Yes.
And this
No,
dharma
but
has
one second point. Yeah, what you're saying is we are doing, for instance, material duties. We are still have to do, because in this material world we have to burn the what to say, the light the lamp in the kitchen, right? So material duties we have to do, but we have to dovetail it for Krishna. That's what we are saying. We have seen that in Bhagavad Gita, right? Dovetail all your activities for Krishna.
so
But
Prabhu,
this
this
is the
paradharma, right? So yeah, we will do service to Krishna, but that should be for according to what Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam says. Is that right?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Okay. So paradharma is serving to please Krishna, and that dharma we should be following based on what teachings that we have learned from
Yeah. In
Bhagavad
fact, this
Gita and
chapter
Bhagavatam.
we are going to talk about that. Next section is going to talk about that.
Okay.
So hold on. All entire the bhakti process is going to talk about the 9 stages of bhakti. Right? Yeah. Okay, let me talk about these 2 terms which we have seen. One is Hayetuki. You want to share that screen, Prabhu? Yeah. That means without material cost. If you see the verse Ayetuki, this is costless with material cost. So if you remember in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells 4 kind of people comes to me. Right? Who are the 4 kind of people?
Someone need material things,
Yeah.
and some who is very sad.
Jnani,
Yeah.
Jnani, Jnani,
Jignasu,
Jignasu, Artharthi,
yeah,
Jignasi and Jnani. These are the 4 people comes there. Right. But here, this is gone one level higher. Ayatuki means without any material cost. So not artha, not anything, just for the sake of Krishna, you are coming. So devotion without any material motive. So that is called Ayatuki. And apratihata means uninterrupted. So uninterrupted, especially we can see our devotional practice, anything materially, we have some problem in our life, we have some other work to be done. So the first casualty is devotional service. We keep them aside. We concentrate on the other thing. So there is no continuity there. We break, we go up and down in our devotional life. So here the parodharma is uninterrupted. So it should not be interrupted. You have to do some service. For instance, we are chanting. Say someone is chanting 18 rounds, 16 rounds or 8 rounds. Say one day I do 2 rounds, next day I do 4 rounds, some other day I do 8 rounds, depending on the time. So this is nothing constant, there's no consistency in that. So we have to be consistent, uninterrupted devotional service. We have to set aside that one. So Ayatuki, let's give some example on that. So one of the example is residents of Vrindavan. So if you take all the gopis, for them, Krishna is not the god for them, right? So in fact, what we think is, okay, because Krishna is the god, we want to have prema, love to God. But residents of Vrindavan are not thinking Krishna is the god. He's simply one among them. So, but then they love him like anything. So love does not depend on what God gives to us, but then who God is. That's what is love to God. Then if you take the other example of Prahlad, So if you see Prahlad, he had so many trouble by his own father. His own father troubled him, right? In anyone's life, the own father troubles, how people will get, how depressed a person will get. But Prahlad did not want to take any revenge against those who tortured him, right? In fact, finally he prayed for them also with Narasimhadev. So takeaway is, because he does not, one is in a very comfortable stage, so then only I will love God. So that's not the situation. No, Prahlad always remembered Narayana, the Lord, in spite of a very difficult situation. But sometimes we may think only of the Lord when coming in difficult sufferings or something, but other time we may not remember the Lord. So unmotivated. So our love to God should be unmotivated. Then we take the example of uninterrupted. So we can talk about Durva Maharaj. So there's no question, he was just 5 years old and he went to the forest. The forest is full of danger, wildlife, everything is there. But it didn't stop his devotion. But in fact, he was little materially motivated, but he went for a material benefit, but then his devotion was uninterrupted. But when Lord Narayana approached before him, he felt that he was just asking for a broken glass, right? So he wanted actually a kingdom greater than his great grandfather Brahma. He wanted something great than that. He went for material motive, but he had an uninterrupted devotion. But then once Lord appeared, he felt, I should not have come for this desire. This should not have been my desire. Then we talk about other example of Queen Kunti. It's coming in this Canto 1 about how calamity is coming to her. In spite of, she says, let more calamities come, then so I can always be remembering you. You will be at my side all the time. So any challenges we face also, we should not, many people say, I'm doing all the prayers or something, but still in my life so many challenges I'm losing faith in the Lord. So that's not the case of Kunti. Kunti actually welcomed more calamities so that she said Krishna will be always at her side. Right? Even if you see Parikshit Maharaj, we are talking about that, 7 days, he knew he's going to die. So here people, if their end of the life or something, we have so many other things to do rather than thinking about devotion. Even in a proper situation, we have so many other things to do. But here Parikshit Maharaj, for him, it was told that, in 7 days, some serpent is going to come and bite him. Right? So, but then he left everything. He just sat and went full of devotional activity. So that's the key. The key takeaway here is that time of fear cannot block bhakti. The time factor of fear factor or anything should not block the bhakti. It should be in an uninterrupted way. All right, let's go to the next verse. Yes.
Next.
Any questions on this? Two things. So the very important verse that was Haitukian Apratihata. So if we are doing bhakti, so we should have this unmotivated bhakti has to be done without any motivation, because Prabhupada mentioned that generally people do think that God is an order supplier, right? We go to God and ask him, okay, I'm ordering you, you please give me this, give me that, give me this, so I will put something in your hundi. Right, that's what is happening. If you say Tirupati hundi, so much crores of money are deposited there. Because this kind of unmotivated, motivated bhakti people are doing. But really bhakti means, that is not at all bhakti, it's a business. They are just doing business there. You give me something, I will give some percentage. Everything belongs to Lord. And you ask him and you say, I give 10% to you. You are giving commission. Is God becoming a commission agent for you? So our bhakti should be unmotivated. It's only a true love for him. And uninterrupted, it is not that one time you do, another time you don't do. It should be on a consistency basis. It's a gradual process. So bhakti should go forever. All right. Who wants to read this verse? Yes, Roshan Prabhu.
Vasudeve Bhagavate Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayatyasho Vairagyam Dhyanam Cha Yad Ahitukam. Translation. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the material world.
Yeah. So this is what is the result of one who performs devotional service. What is the result?
He will get the knowledge and detachment from the.
Detachment. Yes. So what is the Sanskrit word? Vairagyam and Jnanam.
Jnanam and Vairagyam.
Yeah. The same thing I think in Bhagavad Gita also is mentioned. Yeah. Who wants to read the Ankit Prabhu? Ritu Mataji can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. But those who consider devotional services to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna to be something like material emotional affairs may argue that in that revealed scriptures, sacrifices, charity, austerity, knowledge, mystic power, and the similar other process of transcendental realization are recommended. According to them, bhakti or the devotional service of the Lord is meant for those who cannot perform the high grade activities. Generally, it is said that the bhakti cult is meant for the Shudras, Vaishyas, and the less intelligent women's class. But that is not the actual fact. The bhakti cult is at the topmost of all the transcendental activities, and therefore it is simultaneously sublime and easy. It is a sublime for the pure devotees who are serious about getting in connect with the Supreme Lord, and it is easy for the new neophytes who are just in their hold of the house of bhakti to achieve the contact uh, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna is a great science, and it is up, open for all living beings, including the Sudras, Shudras, Vaishyas, and women, even those lower than the low-born Shudras. So, what to speak of the high-class men like a qualified Brahmanas and the great self-realized king? The other high-grade activities designed as a sacrifice, charity, austerity, etc., are all corollary factors following the pure and the sacrifice scientific bhakti cult.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. What are the key points in this?
Perform devotional service. Yeah, that's bhakti above all other activities that we perform.
No, they feel that bhakti cult is meant for only certain set of people like sutras, vyasyas,
Yeah,
unless
but that is right. Yeah. But it says that is also not actual fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it says bhakti is the topmost transcendental activities.
Correct.
And it's very easy as well, right? Sublime and easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone may think, the sacrifice, charity, austerities, and I know many people they have austerity, on Monday they are doing some austerity, what to say, upavas on Monday, Tuesdays, all days for different God they do, and then they say that's the topmost bhakti.
And that too for material desire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what Bhagavatam says. No, nothing, not to do anything related to motivation, with motivation. All right. The other high grade of sacrifice charity are a corollary factor following pure and scientific bhakti cult. All right, let's go to the next passage. Sorry, my throat is getting bad first. Hey, Mamata, do you want to read?
The principle of knowledge and detachment are two important factors on the path of transcendental realization. The whole spiritual process leads to perfect knowledge of every material and spiritual, and result of such perfect knowledge are that one become detached from material affection and becomes attached to spiritual activities. Becoming detached from material things does not mean becoming inert altogether. As men with poor fund of knowledge think, nishkarma means not undertaking activities that will produce good or bad effect. Negotiation does not mean negation of the positive. Negation of the non-essential does not mean negation of essentials. Similarly, detachment from material form does not mean nullifying the positive form. Bhakti cult is meant for realization of positive form. When a positive form is realized, negative forms are automatically eliminated. Therefore, with development of bhakti cult, with the application of positive service to the positive form, one naturally becomes detached from inferior things and he becomes attached to the superior things. Similarly, bhakti cult being the supermost occupation of the living beings, lead them out of the material sense enjoyment. This is the sign of pure devotee. He is not a fool, nor he is engaged in the inferior energies, nor he does the material values. This is not possible by dry reasoning. It actually happens by the grace of the Almighty. In conclusion, one who is a pure devotee has all other good qualities, namely knowledge, detachment, etc. But one who has only knowledge or detachment is not necessarily well acquainted with the principle of bhakti cult. Bhakti is a supermost occupation of the human being.
Okay, thank you. So, anyone, some of the points take away from this? So one has to become detached from the materialistic way of thing and get attached to spiritual activities. That's the key point Prabhupada mentions here. Becoming detached from material thing does not mean becoming inert altogether.
So do things responsibly with detachment.
Exactly. So that's why when we say when you come into Krishna consciousness also, whatever you're doing, do to that. First get attached to Krishna initially. Get attached and then automatically other things get detached. So bhakti cult is meant for realization of positive form. Therefore, with the development of bhakti cult, the application of positive service is positive form. Similarly, the supermost occupation of living being leads him out of material sense enjoyment. That's what I said. As you start adding more Krishna, the more closer you go to Krishna, all the other things get automatically weeded out. So that is the sign of a pure devotee. All right, let's go to, so this finish 6 and 7 is answers to question number 1 and 2 is simple. One word answer is bhakti. Do devotional service to Lord. So that is the greatest thing for the humanity. And this is the essence of all the scriptures. So next section is related to how bhakti can be gained by doing prescribed work. How through Varnashra Dharma one can gain bhakti. So as I told, this verse is up to 29 verse talks about all this. How we it's a corollary to this verse number 6 and 7. How bhakti we have to perform. What is the process? Param Prabhu, you want to read the verse?
Yes, Prabhuji. धर्मस्वानुस्थिता पुंसां विश्वक्षेण कथासूय नोत्पाद्य येद्यतिरतिं श्रम एव हि केवलम्. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist, one who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and the world with a view to gross bodily comfort. Above these gross materialists are the mental speculators who hover aloft in the mental spheres, and their occupational duties involve making poetry and philosophy or propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness limited to the body and the mind. But above the body and mind is the dormant spirit soul, whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. But less intelligent people who have no information of the needs of the spirit soul.
Okay.
Because,
1 second, bro. So what is this translation highlights?
it's about the materialist. They have two types of selfishness. One is concentrated and one is extended.
No, you're not getting into the purport. We'll see the translation first. So we talked about in verse number 6 the paro dharma. No, dharma generally means, as you said, occupation. Now here also is talking about dharma. About what dharma are we talking here? The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position.
Yeah.
So which dharma are we talking here?
Parodharma.
Apara.
Is it parodharma?
Apara.
Okay.
Paradharma, or
Yes.
we can also talk about, his own occupation. All means here, varna. So we are talking about the varna ashram. We are talking about varnashra dharma here. Right? Different occupational activities people do according to their guna and karma. Right? That's what in Bhagavad Gita Krishna mentioned. So here it says such occupation if someone is doing that shrama, that is useless labor, if you are not having Krishna in the center. Simple as that. So we keep talking, we have to keep Krishna in a center life. Where it is coming, it's coming from here. Said if they do not provoke attraction for the message of personality of Godhead. So Krishna, whatever labor you are doing, everything is useless if you don't have Krishna with you. That's the key of this. Yes, Prabhu, now you can continue on your point with the purport.
He's talking about the concentrated and extended selfishness. The concentrated one is about yourself and the personal body, and that's very common in the animals. And the extended selfishness is just for the entire material creation itself. So still on the material conception of life and trying to enjoy more in life, but it's about you and everyone else. And then coming out of the selfishness is when you find spiritual happiness or try to look for spiritual satisfaction.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, I will try to summarize after reading the next passage. You go to the next paragraph.
Because foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the body and mind, they are not satisfied in the performance of their occupational duties. question of the satisfaction of the self is raised herein. The self is beyond the gross body and the subtle mind. He is the potent active principle of the body and mind. Without knowing the need of the dormant soul, one cannot be happy simply with emolument of the body and mind. The body and the mind are but superfluous outer coverings of the spirit soul. The spirit soul's needs must be fulfilled. Simply by cleansing the cage of the bird, one does not satisfy the bird. One must actually know the needs of the bird himself. The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection for God within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested through the gross body and mind in the form of perverted affection for gross and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will evoke our divine consciousness. That this is possible only by hearing and chanting the divine activities of the Supreme Lord, and any occupational activity which does not help one to achieve attachment for hearing and chanting the transcendental message of Godhead is said herein to be simply a waste of time. This is because other occupational duties, whatever ism they may belong to, cannot give liberation to the soul. Even the activities of the salvationists are considered to be useless because of their failure to pick up the fountainhead of all liberties. The gross materialist can practically see that his material gain is limited only to time and space, either in this world or in the other. Even if he goes up to the Svarga Loka, he will find no permanent abode for his hankering soul. The hankering soul must be satisfied by the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, I think this purport is simple to understand. So the one key sentence what we have to say is, whatever we are doing, if you are not having Krishna, then whatever work you are being doing, it's actually useless. Simple as that. So why Varnashra Dharma? Varnashra Dharma without Krishna is of no use. Occupational duty, whatever you are doing, everything becomes a useless labor without Krishna. All right.
Just one thing, Prabhu.
Yes, ma'am.
The last line, the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. Why is this referring to perfect scientific process? That's bhakti process?
Exactly. The science of self-realization, yes. Devotional service, so scientific process of perfect devotional service.
So scientific process is referring to the bhakti process.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Prabhupada calls it science of self-realization. So what does that mean? So the science, there is a science for this, science of bhakti yoga.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu? You want to go?
Yeah, I'm going. Next.
So verse number 1.28 talks about without bhakti there is nothing. You know, why if there is no bhakti, what happens? So in 6 and 7 talks about why bhakti. 8 talks about if no bhakti, whatever you are doing, that such things are useless work. So we go to number 9.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Dharmasya hi aparvargasya nartho aprayopakalpate natharasya dharmekantasya kamo labhahe hi samastrate. All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification.
Yeah, purport also finished.
Okay, we have already discussed that pure devotional service to the Lord is automatically followed by perfect knowledge and detachment from material existence. But there are others who consider that all kinds of different occupational engagements, including those of religion, are meant for material gain. The general tendency of any ordinary man in any part of the world is to gain some material profit in exchange for religious or any other occupational service. Even in the Vedic literatures, for all sorts of religious performances, an allurement of material gain is offered, and most people are attracted by such allurements or blessings of religious siddhi. Why are such so-called men of religion allured by material gain? Because material gain can enable one to fulfill desires, which in turn satisfy sense gratification. This cycle of occupational engagements includes so-called religiosity followed by material gain and material gain followed by fulfillment of desires. Sense gratification is the general way for all sorts of fully occupied men. But in the statement of Suta Goswami, as per the verdict of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, this is nullified by the present shloka. One should not engage himself in any sort of occupational service for material gain only, nor should material gain be utilized for sense gratification. How material gain should be utilized is described as follows. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So, can someone summarize in one sentence this purport? No.
We should not do any devotional service or any occupational service for material gains. So
Exactly.
whatever we should do without any gains.
Yeah. So, for instance, previous verse we talked about the Varnashra Dharma, right? So, so if you take Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, right? The four Purusharthas. So, Artha is something, you do based on Dharma. Dharma is your occupation. Now, Dharma, if it is based on, Vedic scriptures or as per Vedas, Dharmic way you do things, that occupation you do, and you economically you're benefited, Artha, right? And then Kama is sense enjoyment of this, whatever economic benefits you have got, you are enjoying that. And the last is Moksha. So, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha we are talking here. Here, that's what is highlighting here. Whatever the Dharma is doing, you're doing, the goal of Dharma is should not be for Artha, but it should be for liberation, Moksha. So that's what you go to the verse, Prabhu, go on top. It talks about one word called aparvarga. You heard this term? The second one, aparvargasya. Ultimate liberation. So have you heard that parga, pavarga and aparvarga? Apavarga actually means here, Prabhupada also terms ultimate liberation. So what happens is we can still go for artha, for economic benefit, because material world we are living, but we should not focus at least on the kama, on sense gratification. That's what the entire purport is talking about. So a material gain is not for sense gratification. So what happens if material gain and sense gratification goes on, then we are set in the loop. Reactions, karma reactions take place. We are in the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. So we are in that loop. So Prabhu, just can you remove your sharing? I want to share something.
Yeah, I removed.
Yes, Prabhu. So here is talking about pavarga and upper varga. You would have heard that. So pavarga is, can you see my screen? So pavarga means bondage. So as I said, we get into this bondage. So as a materialistic person, what we are doing, parishrama, pa, ba, ma. That's called the pavarga. Pa is parishrama. We are doing all hard work. And because of hard work, what is happening? The other big pa. Like if you see a donkey or a horse, when it's after doing a hard work, what happens to it? The foam keeps coming out from the mouth, right? So similarly, for us also, we become totally tired, materialistic way of life, frustration, everything comes, the foam in our life comes out. And not only that, you get the artha, we get so many things and all. Now we have to safeguard all these things. Today people would have put on so many share markets and other thing, with this world, the war and other thing happening, everything is going up. So their mind is fully on that. They fear. The is fear again. They are binding with frustration afterwards, is the fear. So and ultimately what happens is mrityu, end. So this is the pavarga we are talking. So upper varga are people who are liberated of all this materialistic things, gains. So that's what this verse is talking about, this pavarga, upper varga. We still have, can we do one more verse?
Share.
10. I wanted to do up to 15, but at least 10 verse. Yeah, please share, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Who wants to read?
I will read.
Yes, Prabhu.
नामस्य नेन्द्रिय लाभो जीविते यावता जीवस्य तत्त्वजिज्ञासा नातो यश्चेह कर्मभिः. Translation: Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goals of one work.
Yeah, very simple understanding. This is just a summary of the previous two verses. It's saying us, this is the true purpose of life. Our life should never be directed towards sense gratification. But having said that, we cannot be without artha, without economically development. It should be there just for self-preservation. Our only desire should be for self-preservation. That artha. And human life real purpose is to inquire. To inquire. Since human being, our inquiry should be there. For what? For the absolute truth. Nothing else should be our goal. So this purport, I think you can read on your own. I will want to share one more slide.
I'll stop sharing. Yeah.
I'll just finish in another 2 minutes. Okay, this is a summary slide. Can you see my slide screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is verse number 9 and 10, just a combination of that, what Prabhupada is saying in its purport. So in human form of life, all occupation or engagement should not be done for any material gain. It must be performed for ultimate liberation, not for karma. You can do artha for preservation, but our focus should be on the ultimate liberation for moksha. So the material should not be used. So even if the material gain, whatever we are getting, so this should not be used for sense gratification. So if we are doing it for that, then it puts us in the bound of repeated birth and death cycle. Our life, our desire only for healthy life or self-preservation, human life is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. So this slide just summarizes these two verses, what we read. I will stop here, it's 9:02. Sorry, today I'm not feeling well or sick. I'm having headache and throat infection. Sorry. So
Hope you feel